Welcome back to the Boredwalk Podcast. I am Boredwalk co-founder Matt.
I am Boardwalk employee Josh.
That makes it seem so clinical, that power dynamic thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm comfortable with that, but I don't know what to do differently about it.
Boardwalk underling Josh. Yeah.
How's it going?
Oh, not bad, not bad. How are you?
I'm doing all right, I guess. I'm excited that football season's over.
Okay.
Mostly just because people will talk about something else, I think. Maybe.
Ooh. What are they going to talk about now? The next sport? What is the next sport?
I think basketball and hockey are happening currently.
I don't follow any athletic event, so I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of casually pay attention to baseball, but that's about it.
Did you watch the Super Bowl?
I did not. Actually, some friends of ours were like, "What are you guys doing?" Because we were like, did you get invited to a party?" And they were like, "No, we're just drinking wine and watching movies." And Meredith was like, "Yeah, we're eating curry and watching some horror movies." That was
Heck yeah, what'd you watch?
Oh man, what didn't we watch? Actually, no. We did watch a relatively recent release. I think it's like a Shudder original, which basically just means that they licensed it. But it was it's this film called A Wounded Fawn. It was very trippy, very Lynchian.
Ooh, nice.
Gory, but like kind of cartoonishly so, and it wasn't like the torture porn type stuff that Saw movies can kind of be like. It was good. It was just one of those things where you really had to be paying attention to follow it, and even then you weren't really able to follow it, so you just kind of had to draw your own conclusions as to what was really going on.
Interesting. I saw a movie in the theater that I thought was going to be more like that, a little more mind-fucky and trying to figure out like what exactly did I just watch, but the plot was pretty straightforward. It was Infinity Pool.
Yeah, basic Infinity Pool.
But yeah, it still had some weird stuff, but I thought it was going to be like so weird that like afterwards people like discuss it, like I thought it was about this, or I thought this happened. But like no, the plot was very like the story was straightforward. You're not really gonna interpret that different ways. But
I feel like the last film that came out, and again my references are always like 5 to 10 years behind because I'm a terrible like film person. But where people would not shut the fuck up about it was Inception, for like months after that first came out, people wouldn't stop talking about it. I still have yet to see that movie.
Oh wow. Yeah, I saw it, but yeah, I mean, it's basically just the ending that people debate on, what that means. But some movies that I've seen that also were just kind of like dissecting afterwards, like trying to like put the story together. The movie Mother with Jennifer Lawrence, and it was like this kind of weird metaphorical thing with like Mother Nature, but also like religion with like Adam and Eve and God and all this kind of stuff. But it like took place all in a house, and there's a lot of like layers to it that you could like dissect afterwards. Oh, I think this meant that and this meant that, and it was interesting. It was not as straightforward.
Sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah. I saw the movie in the theaters called, I think it was just called Men, and it was weird and had some dark stuff, but I think I remember enjoying it.
All right. Yeah, my weekend was mostly just spent cooking. I went to the farmer's market.
Ooh.
Ate entirely too much for citrus, but at least it's like...
That's where they get you.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm like, would I rather pay too much for good citrus that I know is going to be good? Or do I want to roll the dice on like cheaper citrus at the grocery store, but you end up with this like bone dry orange or grapefruit where you're just like, what am I even doing eating this?
Yeah, I think you made the right call.
Yeah. I mean, it was mostly Meredith was just like, we should just haul ourselves out of bed and go to the farmer's market early enough to get some decent oranges. And so I was able to actually do that this weekend, which was nice.
Oh, nice. I played a lot of video games, and I had the Super Bowl on, like on my laptop, mostly just, literally just so I could watch the commercials. I muted it while the game was on and would unmute it and pause my game when the commercials came on to see if there's any, crazy funny commercials. They're pretty lame this year.
Yeah, that's what I heard. It was that people were just like, it seemed very recycled, not remotely like imaginative. No one was really innovating stuff.
Nah, I think I even stopped watching after the halftime show. I was like, because I feel like the commercials usually get worse at that point anyway. Like they kind of like show all their best stuff earlier on when everyone's like really excited and paying attention. And even like the movie trailers, which I was excited for, it would be like a little snippet, and they would like go watch the full trailer online. It's like, oh, okay, you're not going to show the full thing now. So then I was just like muting the game and the commercials and then watching these, the trailers for like the new Marvel movies and stuff.
Yeah, brands, stop phoning it in. Come correct. But at the same time, I understand, like, they're probably just like, in this economy, at these Super Bowl ad prices, you want us to innovate as well.
Yeah.
So I get it.
It just seemed like everyone's kind of go-to was to just get celebrities and then also to get those celebrities to play characters that they have played in the past, like in movies and TV, but now they're playing that character in a commercial for whatever. But there really weren't any like real jokes to them. It reminded me of just kind of like Funny or Die sketches where the only real joke is the fact that it's a celebrity saying this thing versus like if it was like just an actor that nobody knew, would it be as funny? Like I don't think so.
Right, exactly.
I think it's just the fact I know who that person is. Yeah. Like that's not a joke.
Don Cheadle, you're a serious actor. What are you doing here?
Yeah.
In other news, the last time that you and I were behind the mics, we discussed my dry January adventure, which has ended.
Hey.
As it is now moist February.
Ooh.
And honestly, I've been drinking sparingly since last Wednesday.
Uh-huh.
I kind of feel like I've lost a bit of a taste for it. Like I woke up this morning and I had a double or two last night.
Oh, I thought you were going to say this morning.
No.
I woke up, I had a couple doubles.
But like I woke up after like basically like, 4 shots of bourbon spread out over a few hours. With a little bit of a headache and feeling kind of dehydrated, and I was just like, I don't know if the hangover's worth the experience during. So I don't know, and it reminded me of, and again, I'm an atheist. I have not been a believer for a very long time, but it reminded me of when I gave up video games for Lent when I was 19, and I just never went back.
Oh wow, I could not do either of those things.
Yeah, my mom just came in and asked me, so have you given any thought about what you want to give up for Lent? And my flippant internal response was, no, Mom, because I don't think about Lent ever. But I was just like, trying to, engage in a good faith manner. By doing what you're supposed to do with Lent, where it's got to be something meaningful that would be hard for you to give up. It can't just be something that you can't be like
broccoli.
I'm gonna give up broccoli because I hate broccoli. No, you can't do that. So I was just like, I've been playing a lot of. This is how long ago it was when I was 19. I was playing a lot of Star Wars Pod Racer.
Nice.
And I was just like, I'm spending a lot of time doing this, and so I just decided to give up on that, and then I just never went back. Like I'll play like Free Cell on my phone, but that's about as intensive as it gets with the video games. But this is how I feel like my graduation from consuming alcohol, at least at the same clip that I was before, is kind of going in that direction. We'll see.
Yeah, I guess it's good. You're not like, okay, I now have to drink a month's worth of alcohol in a week to make up for dry January.
Yeah, no. Although it's going to be interesting because there's a liquor store near our house, and I wonder if the guys have noticed that I haven't been in there in like 8 weeks, because I was in there like once a week for a few months, and they were probably like, he's a regular.
That must be dead.
Yeah, exactly. And then I always also am like thinking, pity the poor small business. I'm like, man, I hope those guys are doing okay in dry January, because I bet a lot of people are doing the same thing I'm doing, which is not drinking. But I don't care enough to actually go in and find out if they had an okay January with all the people kind of slowing their roll when it comes to drinking.
They should have just for the month of January turned their liquor store into a gym for all the people who have New Year's resolutions and are doing dry January. So they come work out for like a month, and then when they give both those things up, like, hey, back to the liquor store, business as usual for the next 11 months.
Where are the pork rinds? They're next to the Bowflex. Yeah. In current events, have you heard about this disgusting explosion that happened in Ohio last week?
No, what's going on with Ohio? We had a sketch that we shot today that involved something about going on in Ohio, and none of us knew what that was.
So, yeah, and it's kind of by design. It's kind of creepy. There was a train derailment near East Palestine, Ohio last week, where a bunch of essentially toxic waste exploded.
Oh.
And it looked like a nuclear explosion. Like, it had the mushroom cloud, the lenticular after effect cloud, all this other stuff, and apparently like all the livestock in the surrounding area just keeled over dead, and a lot of people are probably going to die, and the media is not covering it at all. And from what Meredith was able to kind of piece together from like the smattering of people discussing it on Twitter, it sounds like the logistics company that was in charge of transporting this toxic waste lied about what the contents of their shipment was, so they didn't have to pay as much.
Oh no.
And the fact that the major media outlets aren't covering this as much as I think something of this magnitude should be covered is a bit off-putting to me. I don't know.
We were trying to look it up because we were like, we didn't know if like the sketch was, if that was just like a random line, because it started off with like, "Did you hear about what's going on in Ohio?" And we're like, or is it just like or did something actually go on in Ohio? So we're looking it up. We saw something about like a train derailment, but then it also said it was, I guess, because it was like a mostly white part of town, and it was all, the other like hashtag going on was like war on white people. They thought it was an act of war against whiteys.
Oh my God.
Which is like, it's about time. And I am not on Team White.
Right, exactly.
I will defect.
People will take any opportunity to turn some kind of tragedy into a wedge issue. Mm-hmm. It should be surprising, but it's not. But yeah, I think this happened on like Thursday or Friday last week, and it hasn't really been talked about. Like, people are tweeting about it and they're posting photos and videos, like the people that live there, and there have been a couple of media outlets that have gone to try and cover it, and some of those media people have been like arrested or detained. So
what's going on?
Smells like a smelly cover-up, but I guess hopefully we'll find more out. If you're watching this and you have the inside scoop on the toxic waste explosion near East Palestine, please tell us all about it in the comments.
Or in like 30 or 40 years, we'll get a cool miniseries on HBO about it.
Yeah.
Then we'll learn what happened.
I mean, we're being very flippant about what is clearly a tragedy, but, people of East Palestine, you're in our thoughts and prayers if we do those things. Yeah. I don't pray very much. I think sometimes.
I rarely do that, but I will. But it is sad.
Yeah, we'll direct some positive vibes your way and hope for the best. I don't know. You got anything else before we dive into question of the day?
No.
All right, let's do it.
Oh, we have a review. Do reviews come at the top or the bottom of the podcast?
It doesn't really matter.
Well, let's read the review because I've got a question about it because it's reviewing something that I didn't even know we did.
Okay.
So this is a 5-star review. It is from Valerie C., who is a verified buyer. 5 stars, best first purchase. I bought the mystery bundle to dip my toes into the Boardwalk universe, and I'm so glad that I did. The surprise and mystery is well worth it and such a deal. What is the mystery bundle? I didn't know we had mystery bundles.
Okay, so, we print all of our apparel items to order. We have digital printers that allow us to do that. It gives us a lot more flexibility in terms of like being able to offer certain designs on lots of different shirt colors. Lets us test new designs without having to spend a fortune on traditional silkscreen printing. However, sometimes people don't read the sizing chart. In fact, often people don't read the sizing chart. Or they might have read the sizing chart and they just thought better of it, wanted to return the items, whatever. But they're still very much sellable items. They're still in essentially mint condition other than someone trying it on and sending it back to us. Because Meredith and I are so prolific with coming out with new products and new designs, occasionally, usually about once a year, Meredith and I will go through, we'll look at the sales history for stuff, and if something has been kind of a slow seller or it no longer really fits with the aesthetic that we've been kind of like refining over the years, we'll discontinue it. But we don't want to just have perfectly sellable and usable apparel end up in like a dumpster or something like that. What we'll do is we put it in essentially overstock bins broken out by like size or style or color, and then we have the mystery bundle as a product on our website where I think it's like 3 items for like half price, essentially. So 3 t-shirts. Sometimes it might be a mix of t-shirts and tank tops. Sometimes it might be like sweatshirts or something like that, just as a way for us to clear out some space in the warehouse and send those shirts to a good home.
Yeah. Someone who'll leave a 5-star review and be happy with them.
Yeah. Occasionally we'll get like a 2 or 3-star review for those because people are like, I already got this. And I'm just like, well, if you've ordered multiple mystery bundles and you keep ordering them, it might lead to either you getting designs that you don't like, because that's the trade-off. You're paying half price for three.
You don't get to pick.
But you don't get to pick. So but to Valerie's point, it's a great way to dip your toes in, check out the brand, check out the apparel specifically at a reduced price. Helps us clear some overstock out, cuts down on the footprint that stuff takes up in our facility here. And you guys get to enjoy some cost savings at the same time.
Interesting. I think that's a cool idea, especially for your first time, yeah. Because if you keep doing it, then you're bound to get repeats. It's like buying Pokemon cards. You don't know what's in there. If you keep doing it, you're going to get duplicates.
Oh, yeah.
Buy the shirt, buy the mystery bundle, get a few shirts. Like, okay, cool. And then look on the site, like, well, I like this shirt. Like, this, then start picking them specifically.
Yeah. And, so Pokemon, the trading card game, which I feel may have predated the video game.
I believe so. I'm a little rusty on my knowledge now. I believe, I think the cards came out before the games.
I never got into Pokemon the card game. My brothers did, and they also got into like Yu-Gi-Oh and all the GoBot spin-offs of Pokemon. So I never got to see the contents of these packs, but I remember from my youth collecting baseball cards, and collecting is using that word loosely. I was basically like, my uncle or my dad would be like, hey, they had like a half price deal on this box of Donruss or box of Fleer cards. Here you go. And you'd open up a pack of cards and you'd have 3 or 4 of the same in like a 12 card pack.
Oh no.
So it's fine because they're selling them so, at least at the time in the 80s, they were so cheap. They didn't get super, super expensive with like holograms and all these other fancy paper stocks and all that stuff until the 90s. But that was just kind of assumed to have, like, you were going to get a bunch of duplicates and you had to be okay with that because you were usually, they're so inexpensive, or at least they were at the time, that it's like, what do you want from these poor card companies for them to make sure that they're not putting duplicates in packs? Come on. Thanks, Valerie, for the nice review.
Yeah.
We're glad that you're happy with them. I know that we have another new tee design coming out this coming Friday, which Meredith and I are excited about. We have 2 new tee designs coming out over the next couple of weeks that we're pretty excited about. Hopefully everyone else likes them as much as we do. Meredith is already like, I need to figure out what shirt I want to have mine printed on. So that bodes well. And hopefully it resonates with you fine folks.
So when are those dropping? Is there an official release date?
Friday. So Meredith, for the uninitiated, Meredith usually will add new SKUs to the website like midday Thursday, but we don't announce them immediately upon publication. Usually we'll do the actual notification to our email list or SMS list on Friday morning.
So if you're on boardwalk.com, hitting refresh Thursday afternoon, you might get the earliest sneak peek.
It happens. There have been some times where we've published something to the website at Thursday evening at 6 p.m. and someone's on the website at 10 p.m. They've already added it to their cart and purchased it, which is always cool to see.
Nice, yeah.
Usually that signifies to us that it's probably going to be a successful release.
Yeah.
If we send an email and we get 2 orders, that usually means that it's not going to be one.
Oh no. Have you ever reworked a design, tweaked something about it that's already been published? Well, this didn't hit with people like we thought it would. What if we changed this about it and then re-release it?
Frequently.
Oh, okay.
No, I shouldn't say frequently. I would say there are 3 to 5 designs that we will do a quote-unquote remix of about each year. Usually this is a strong concept that Meredith came up with that I was not able to execute on very well as a designer at the time, or neither of us really knew how to effectively communicate the concept visually at the time that we originally released it. So we do go back and come up with more graphically interesting ways of communicating the same slogan or the same concept, sometimes years down the line.
Ooh. True collectors will get each variant and have all the different designs.
Yeah, you never know when your Boardwalk tee is going to become a limited edition collector's item because we discontinued the original version. Much. Are we ready for question of the day?
Yeah, got a few here.
All right.
First question of the day is, what do other people find romantic that doesn't impress you? We've got some answers here. We've got Sonia Benham says, Facebook entries that read like a personal love note. Just that mushy gushy, that oversharing. Like, everyone needs to see how in love I am. Everyone needs to see these inside jokes that they don't get. And all of that. I feel like, yeah, I agree with that. Like, getting so detailed. You can just, say you love who you're with on the romantic holiday. That's fine. But if you do a whole monologue of that's basically a letter to them that would have been much more meaningful had that person read it like in a card to them versus like the whole world needs to see this intimate peek at our relationship. Like, then it's like, that's oversharing.
No, I agree with you. I feel like Meredith and I have done that maybe twice over the course of our almost 2-decade relationship where it'll be like our anniversary and be like, hey, I'm so lucky to be with this person. But like, that's literally it. It's not like a long thing. It's more like, hey, I'm on Facebook and it's my anniversary or it's your birthday. Happy birthday.
Right.
But that's about it.
Yeah, I feel like the shorter the better.
I feel like that is a good rule of thumb in all facets of life. The briefer the better.
And now we've got AJ NPC Bikini says, romantic movies. I find most of them poorly written and embarrassing. Not a rom-com fan.
How about you? How do you feel about rom-coms?
If the com is strong, I'm down for the rom, but usually the jokes are not that great, and so that's it. So they lose me there. So like, even if like their chemistry is good between the couple and the whole will they won't they thing, but if the jokes are lame, then like I'm checking out.
That's fair. Yeah, I think it's funny because Meredith keeps flogging this dead horse because when we met, I liked a handful of rom-coms where if I'm flipping through the TV and it happens to be on, I'm like, yeah, I like Sleepless in Seattle. I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Same thing with like You've Got Mail. I'm like, yeah, Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks, they had decent chemistry in the 90s.
It was cute. Yeah.
But then there are some where I'm just like, I can't believe this even got greenlit, let alone made it all the way to production. I'm not going to name names, but we just watched one of those a couple of days ago. Actually last night, this Turkey from 2016, where I was just like, it's like this film was made by people that have no direct personal experience with the subject matter. Not the romantic aspect of it, just like the trappings of the film. Like there's a lot of stuff in like corporate speak and office buildings and stuff like that, and I'm just like, none of the people that were involved in the making of this movie have ever had an actual office job.
Gotcha.
Because none of this shit would happen in real life. But yeah, I agree, and I feel like my tolerance for the cutesy stuff with the rom-coms is definitely eroded over time.
Yeah, if it's cheesy, then like you got to be in the right mood to be on board, and if you're not in a cheesy mood, the cheesiness is not going to win you over. You're not going to join the cheesy side.
No, in fact, you'll probably just sit there stewing and getting angrier and angrier that you're wasting valuable seconds of your life on this movie.
Exactly.
You watch a lot of movies though. Like, do you find yourself experiencing that angst towards filmmakers frequently just because you watch so much volume that you're just bound to see some of these things that just do not land for you?
Yeah, I've definitely watched stuff and like, oh man, these jokes are not great, or like this is, well, I guess I won't name names either, but I saw a very recent movie that Gerald's came out that was marketed, to be like a suspenseful kind of thriller thing. I was so bored. I was just like, there's nothing like thrilling about this. I was never once tense. I was never once worried on behalf of anyone in the movie. I was just like, this is boring.
Yeah.
And like I've actually never walked out of a movie, but I do like the AMC pass where I can, I'm not paying for individual tickets. That's why I see pretty much everything that comes out. So I was with a friend, but like, had I known that the movie was not going to improve throughout the whole time, I might have just like, well, I'm going to call it. I'm gonna bounce out of here.
I'm trying to think if there was ever a movie that I walked out of. I agree. I don't think I did. There have been movies where I'm like thinking about it. Like I'm sitting in the seat just like, what is happening? And then there are movies where I'm like, yeah, this is compelling for the first 2/3, but then it drags on for another third when it should have just been edited down. Like,
could have ended, yeah.
Like I remember I saw the first Taken movie in the theater.
Okay.
Where Liam Neeson, who's become problematic in recent years for things that he said when he was younger, had a certain set of skills.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't talk about the certain set of skills that he had, or wouldn't stop talking about it. At one point, I was just like, I thought I could make it to the end before having to get up and go pee, but I couldn't. And so I like sprinted to the bathroom, came back, and I was just like, this is not on my bladder. This is on the filmmakers for making this movie overly long.
Make it not engaging enough where I forget how much I need to pee, or just tightening it up.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we've got one more response for this question of the day from Styled Floridian. Roses and chocolates. Just give me some very fine champagne.
All right.
I like that. Just super easy. Look, I don't need you to go worry about roses or chocolate. All you gotta do is just buy me an incredibly expensive bottle of champagne. I'm so easy. I agree.
So I have a few from this question from the Facebook side, because I think those are all Instagram, right?
Yes, those all look like Instagram screenshots.
Right. And I apologize if I'm butchering your what appears to be Scandinavian name. Sidsel Leica Sendergaard says, flowers. Bouquets are things that are dying and decaying right in front of you. How is that a symbol of your love? That's fair.
Yeah, they're not wrong.
Elizabeth Bouvier says, please don't take me outside and try to feed me. I'm pretty sure even animals don't like it. Hashtag no picnics.
Oh, no picnics.
Calling out picnics.
Interesting. That I don't know if I've ever heard anyone who is that strongly anti-picnic.
I had a bad picnic experience when I was in like middle school. My parents dragged my brothers and I to Harper's Ferry, West Virginia, and they had packed a picnic lunch, and the gnats were so bad. Like, I'm just seeing gnats like crawling all over my mom's face while she's trying to eat this sandwich. I'm just like, it killed my appetite. I was like, I'm gonna just basically walk around briskly to keep them from landing on me while I eat, but it ruined the meal for me. And so like ever since then, I've been very reluctant to do the picnic thing.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had a picnic that left a strong enough impression on me. And yeah, I think when I was in middle school, I was on a picnic. My whole family was mauled by bears, but like I was like, the food was good.
Oh, wow. Beach picnics are also overrated. Way too windy.
Oh yeah, a lot of sand getting everywhere.
Julie Smith says, morning sex. Don't look at me or talk to me until I've had my coffee. Then there's the whole morning breath, drool on the pillow thing. Just yuck.
Yeah, that part's gross.
Yeah, but I mean, I think I can make it to the bathroom and brush my teeth real quick.
I can do it. I can do all of it real quick.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait a minute.
John Irwin says, lobster. I prefer a big fat burrito.
Okay.
The modifier of big and fat makes it seem a little less romantic, John, but okay.
Not if you have it on a picnic, though.
That and people are going to cancel me because they're going to think I'm fat shaming. That's not what that's about. It's about a burrito. It just seems like a very sloppy, messy way to eat, whereas at least with a lobster, you're using a fork. Unless
True.
you're like a mermaid from Splash.
I think also typically like, fancy romantic atmosphere restaurants, the places serving lobster, those places don't typically have big fat burritos. But if they did, maybe more people would consider that fine dining.
A lobster burrito, perhaps?
Ooh, lobster roll? Yeah.
Yeah, well, Mexican lobster roll fusion type
I do
situation.
love lobster and I do love burritos, so I think we're onto something. Yeah, at least a new shirt design.
For sure. And then finally, Rasky Bukowski says, wearing an adult diaper and being put into a cage. Some people might find that romantic. I agree with Rasky. I don't think it is.
Yeah, I think I can count on one hand how many Hallmark movies had that in it.
I mean, I'm with Rasky on this one, but to each their own. If you like wearing an adult diaper and getting locked in a cage, more power to you. I hope that you have a very romantic.
Makes for a great meet cute.
Put that in your script, rom-com.
Yeah,
producers.
I'll watch it. I will watch it.
I will watch that too. Yes, I am there. All right, so that was that question.
Now we're moving on to what is a feature you wish you had in your home? And we've got Philip1 says, a trap door to dispose of unwanted visitors on my doorstep, though I would settle for a moat.
I mean, I'm with Philip1 on all accounts. I would only want the trapdoor if there was like spikes or tigers in the pit.
Very cool.
I mean, if it's just an empty room that's not going to actually be curtains for the person that's falling into it, and they're just going to be like whining at me the whole time, that would be really annoying.
Yeah, unless it was like a soundproof pit, and you just like, forget them.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Do you get a lot of unwanted visitors? How often would you use your trapdoor in like a week?
We used to get a lot more unsolicited house calls when we lived on the East Coast.
Okay.
That it has become less prevalent here in the Los Angeles area. I think that is because it's very sprawling and people don't want to have to walk that far.
Yeah, no. Yeah, instead we just have like the people who hang outside of like every single grocery store trying to get you signed 1 million petitions and all this kind of stuff and donate to a bunch of things. Like I wish they were outside of a place that I don't need to go to at least once a week. Like,
Target. Get those people out of there.
I dread going to Target now. That's like my main grocery store because it's the closest to me. But I was like, I don't want to have to like field a wave of people who want me to sign or my money or while I'm carrying groceries. Like it makes me not want to go to the grocery store anymore because I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, and I feel especially right now, it's Girl Scout cookie season.
That is the one exception I will, because they're not that pushy, and like I will gladly take them. But it's just like, hey, you walk out like, hey, are you a registered voter? Like, oh boy, here we go. What are we talking about? What do we need me to sign 1 million things for?
Right.
Or it's buying candy for their whatever sports team, even though like you're selling it outside of the store that sells that same candy for cheaper.
Right.
So like what? You bought it at this store and now you're upcharging it. Like, just that's what if y'all were somewhere else that like go outside the DMV, I will buy candy while waiting at the DMV.
More often than not, it's in a strip mall. Like, just go 2 doors down. Like, don't try and sell me candy bars in front of the Target.
Yeah.
Like, I know that to your point, they're already in there and for half price.
Mm-hmm.
At least based on what they're charging. And there's like a Games Workshop 2 doors down. Go stand in front of the Games Workshop. I guarantee you the people going into and out of the Games Workshop are definitely interested in your candy bar, and they probably aren't selling them in the Games Workshop.
Exactly. It's all about location. Yeah, I get there's a lot of foot traffic, but I think like they probably have better quality of people that they interact with somewhere else.
Yeah.
More likelihood of success. But yeah, I'm like, I dread it now. Like yesterday, I went to Target. I was like, I need stuff now. And so I faked being on a phone call. I talked to no one. Walking in and out of the store, having a full conversation with nobody, so that I didn't have to talk to strangers. I'd rather talk to an imaginary person.
I like to now I'm just wondering what the content of these fake phone calls.
I want them to like escalate, get so dramatic. Like I want the person I'm talking to be like kidnapped and like have this whole storyline. Like, oh my god, I'll pay whatever ransom. Don't harm them. And the person's like, do you think they should raise the price of rent? I'm like, I'm too busy for this right now. Can't you hear my phone call that's real?
Oh man, yeah, that's a great idea. I need to develop a fake backstory for faux phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
I'm into this.
Yeah, that's my go-to. Because even if you're like texting, they don't care. They'll still try to talk to you. Hey, you got a second? Like, no, I don't.
I'll be the guy that says I think Girl Scout cookies are kind of overrated. I was willing to buy into the mystique of the Girl Scout cookies when I was younger. But really, I only liked 2 cookies.
Ooh, which are they?
Well, Thin Mints for sure. I think Thin Mints, unless you've got some strong aversion to mint, that's everyone's go-to, or at least near the top of the list. And then the Samoas.
Yes, that's my number 1 probably. And then I also I'm a big, I don't know what they called theirs, but I like shortbread cookies. So whatever their shortbread cookie is called.
But you know what? If I have to choose between Girl Scout cookies and Boy Scout popcorn, the Girl Scout cookies are going to win every time.
I've never even heard of Boy Scout popcorn.
That's what the Boy Scouts have to sell as their fundraising food.
Oof. Tough break, Boy Scouts.
Right? And they're still doing this, like decades since I was a Boy Scout.
Ooh, and it's just regular, normal popcorn? That any flavors, anything?
I mean, yeah, they say that they do, but it's basically just different colored kernels. I don't think there's really significant.
Okay, so it's not like caramel one and cheese popcorn and stuff?
So you can either get the unpopped kernels, and they have like a range of flavors, or you can get one of those big Christmas drums where they have it subdivided into the caramel, the cheese, and then the regular butter. But it's something I've become such a... It's weird. I'm not even a huge popcorn fan. Meredith is the big popcorn fan in our household. And so she's always popping bags, and then she's enlisting me to help her eat them, which I'm willing to do. But then sometimes she's like, oh, I ran out of the microwave microwavable stuff, and we also have like a popcorn popper too, like that spins everything around. But sometimes we're out of kernels and we're out of the microwave bags, and so
where are the Boy Scouts when you need them?
Dude, no offense, Boy Scouts, F the Boy Scouts.
Oh, damn. You heard it here first.
No, because it's too expensive, and I get it. They have to mark it up because that's how they make money. But I'm not interested in supporting their organization. I don't know. Sorry, it's not a compelling enough offer to me.
No, they need something way better.
But she'll,
especially when you compare it to cookies.
As a stopgap, she will get the already popped bags of popcorn.
Oh, like yeah, Skinny store? Pop or whatever.
If I have to choose between that or freshly popped like microwave popcorn, I would rather have nothing than not freshly popped popcorn. It's such a inferior food product, in my opinion, that I would rather just starve.
I'd rather die than eat pre-popped popcorn.
Right, but this is the quandary that the Boy Scouts of America are in. They've got the thankless task of trying to sell a product that no one wants, and at the same time, being the beta cuck that I am, it's good for them to have to deal with some disappointment, and the women have the layup that is the Girl Scout cookie. Girl Scout cookie. Cussy. What's a cussy?
It
sounds dirty, but it's not. It's just a made-up word that just emanated from my mouth.
Slip of the tongue, which also sounds dirty.
Yes. But yeah, so, more power to the Girl Scouts for hoodwinking the Boy Scouts and selling something that people actually want.
Yeah. Which came first? Who started selling what first?
I mean, to your point earlier, I didn't even know that Boy Scouts sold popcorn until I was forced to try and sell their popcorn as a Boy Scout, whereas Girl Scout cookies
Did you do it outside of stores like they do? Because I've never seen Boy Scouts trying to do anything anywhere.
Yeah, my dad and I would walk up to the local Giant, which is the East Coast version, Mid-Atlantic version of Vons or whatever, and try to sell popcorn. We'd have our little foldable table, and everyone, it's tough because the kids don't want to be there. Yeah. So really, the parents are the ones.
Parents are doing all the work. Even when I do the Girl Scout things, the girls are kind of just chit chatting, and then the mom's like, "Here's what we got. Here's blah blah. We do Venmo now, and blah 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 blah." I'm like, my God,
Venmo.
Yeah, the last time I bought Girl Scout cookies, a year or so ago, I Venmo'd them because I didn't have cash on me and I was not prepared.
Well, hey,
I'm not a Boy Scout.
Good on them for rolling with the times and adapting.
Yeah, and at Christmas time, that's when I finally gave in and gave some money to the high school students who are always, every day, selling stuff for their, I don't know when they practice their sports, because they are every day selling candy for these teams. But at Christmas time, I was like, yeah, I don't have much cash on me. Then we do Venmo. I was like, okay, so Venmo'd their coach. It was interesting.
Yeah, just generally, I don't like giving to children's charities, and that's what these are, because mostly I don't like children. However,
or charities. It's lose-lose in my book.
Yeah. Boardwalk, we do give charitable donations as a brand when the spirit moves us and when things are going well. But generally speaking, as a person, I'm for charities that make less people and help animals.
Oh, okay.
So those are the, so if that.
Yeah, if they can find a way for rabbits to sell me some cookies, I'll buy them all.
Yes, girl rabbit cookies.
Yeah,
but yeah, the parents they're doing all the heavy lifting with the sales, and the kids are just there to stand there breathing, wearing the trappings of their respective children's organizations. Here's the one child-oriented charity that I routinely donate to. I have a monthly recurring $10 donation going to Wikipedia, which those kids are using for all of their reports.
Oh, okay.
So I figure that's how I'm helping the children who are our future.
Nice. Yeah. Helping them with their homework in a way.
Well, that, and also I use Wikipedia weekly for my job, so I figured I've been getting the milk for free for long enough that I felt bad about it.
I guess I'll buy the cow for $10 a month.
Yeah, plus ever since I started doing it, I stopped getting the banner at the top where they're begging me for money. So that's almost worth it to me.
It's paying for having no ads on Duolingo or something.
Similar,
here's some money. Shut up.
Yep.
Stop asking me for the money.
Yep.
Well, it's good that at least they're not hey, you could be doing more.
That's true.
They're this is enough. We'll take it. Thank you.
Some marketing person at Wikipedia is listening to this right now, and they're going to be like, light bulb.
Let's start asking for $11 a month. What's one more dollar?
Right.
Now we've got from I Just Wanna Craft says, or back on the features of people having in their homes is the ability to clean itself, Wizarding World style. That would be very cool.
That would be very cool. I think I commented on that same post. I just want a maid dedicated to cleaning up after my sloppy old cat.
Mm-hmm.
Because fully 85% of the mess that Meredith and I clean up in our house is from this one small 6-pound geriatric feline. He's just, and he gets sloppier as he gets older.
Yeah.
He's just like, litter box.
Whatever.
If I get within 10 feet of it, consider yourself lucky.
Yeah. I could have done this in another room.
Yeah. Meredith was saying on a podcast episode a couple of weeks ago that having a house pet is kind of like it's buy now, pay later, but with dopamine. And you're also paying later in the form of spending a lot of time sweeping up hairballs, just dried food. He's got like crust all over his face because he's constantly like sneezing and crying on himself. And so I'm just like, it's a whole thing. But yeah, I want a dedicated house pet.
A hospice nurse for your cat. Just cleaning up. Yeah, I mean that's most of the cleaning I do. It's just fur everywhere, and like, or if they track litter or whatever, I'm just like sweeping and vacuuming stuff. Like, man, I would do a fraction of the cleaning if I didn't have cats, but also I would be a fraction of as happy. So I guess it works out.
Exactly. Yeah. There's trade-offs in every aspect of life.
And now we've got what is your name? Photo Nicole says, my son wants a slide leading into a movie theater ball pit. Can't say I hate the idea.
I didn't know that movie theaters had ball pits.
I think this is a hybrid that they're creating. So it's a ball pit that also has a big movie screen. So instead of sitting in a chair, you're just chilling in a ball pit watching a movie. I'm down to try that.
Yeah, that seems like a.
I don't know how you get a movie theater. Like, would you stadium seating ball pit? How would that even work?
I mean, I guess it would have. The way I'm envisioning is it would just be like a home theater just a big pit that would seat 6 people comfortably.
Yeah, I've seen videos where people made like ball pits like in their home. They like if they have one of those couches that's kind of like customizable where you can like rearrange the stuff. They would make like a big opening in the middle to fill with balls. It's pretty fun. Chill in there, watch a movie.
I remember this was probably like 6 or 7 years ago. Meredith and I went to a stand-up show. That was a benefit for some children's charity. We already know how I feel about those. But I went. I made a donation.
Begrudgingly.
But the event was at a digital marketing agency's offices in Santa Monica. And if that alone didn't already clue you into what was happening in there, let me paint you a picture. There is a ball pit right next to their meeting area. Like the entire room is sunken, and then there's just the plastic balls in the ball pit, and they would have like meetings in there, and that to Meredith and I, it just smacks of like big tech excess.
Yeah.
Where they're like, we've got foosball tables, we've got ball pits, we've got like a cafeteria, and the translation to all of that is, we expect you to live here and never do anything but work. And that's why you will never find a ball pit at Boredwalk, because we don't want anyone to stay here longer than they absolutely want to.
What if we get a ball pit, but instead of working here all the time, I work here the same amount, if not less, because I'm playing in the ball pit?
That is true. It would not be conducive to productivity.
Also, that did not convince you. Let me think of another way to phrase how we need a ball pit in this office.
What we should do is we should do like an off-site like company outing to a place that has a ball pit. And then
I always wanted to go to places that have all trampolines everywhere, those big old foam pits. Those always look so fun when I see people with those. They're mostly kids, but I want to tear it up in there.
That makes sense. I think Marlene keeps making noise about wanting to take everyone to a batting cage, and Meredith and I are sometimes just like, Marlene would enjoy that. I would enjoy that. I don't think anyone else would enjoy it.
It would be so bad that other people would enjoy that attempt.
All right. What about you? What do you want as a feature to your place, your domicile?
Well, when I was a kid, my grandfather, in his house, he had a fireman pole that you could slide from the second floor to the first floor. I thought that was really cool. I live in a one-story apartment, so it would do me no good. That was basically just a stripper pole. You're not really going anywhere.
Yeah. So he had the Ghostbusters situation, and you would just have the
that's what Christmas
striptease.
All the grandkids would we would all take turns because it was kind of like over a banister. It wasn't really easily accessible to get to it. So then we would like have competitions to see like who could like jump at it from the farthest distance and then catch this pole and slide down. And eventually we just got to the point where we were just jumping from the second floor to the first floor and just falling because no one could. We're trying to outdo each other. So a lot of broken bones, but that was pretty fun.
This is definitely something that would only fly pre-1990.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this was, and in the South.
Yeah.
So people do whatever.
That's fair. I remember I lived in Murfreesboro, Tennessee for like 10 months, and we would engage in all sorts of reckless and dangerous stuff. And I can't tell you how many times I had to go to the nurse's office because there's like a tick or something like that. Or, you know, someone...
Like, Matt, you have to stop coming in here for gnats. Gnats are not dangerous, but they're gross. What do you want me to do about it? I am a nurse.
Exactly.
At a school.
Yeah, the South definitely, and you know, I wouldn't say the South. I would just say the further you get from urban centers, because that kind of stuff happens in rural and like far-flung suburban places all over the country.
Yeah, like when you spend more and more of your time outside, like you're bound to come up with some crazy things to do out there versus like, you know, being an iPad kid indoors all the time.
Yeah. Exactly.
You gotta get creative. Gotta get adventurous.
Oh yeah, I jumped off of many cliffs into lakes and whatnot.
Oh, okay. I was like, damn, you all right? Man, Wile E. Coyote. Yeah. Our final question of the day is: what is legal today that probably won't be in the future? We've got the TMJ says canned tuna. Why will that be illegal in the future? What's going on with canned tuna? Is there a scandal with a canned tuna?
I mean, it's possible that they could be another cover-up. Maybe there is no such thing as dolphin-safe tuna, and the word just hasn't gotten out yet. Maybe that's what they're alluding to. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Don't take that as gospel, folks. Like, please do not turn this into a conspiracy theory. This is just what I'm assuming they're referring to.
Okay.
I have no idea. I don't know what the TMJ has going. What dirt they have on big tuna.
What do they know that we don't? And will we then transition to eating canned dolphin?
Yikes. Dolphins are mean, man. I wouldn't want to get on the bad side of dolphins.
Yeah, they carry grudges.
Yeah.
You don't want to piss them off. We've got Robert Kogok. Am I saying that right?
Kojak.
Kogok. They are a top fan. They said theme parks will be illegal in the future. I could see that maybe back when like COVID was, you know, just popping off.
I mean, yeah, we didn't watch the Super Bowl, but they already have the I'm going to Disneyland ads going, so I don't think that there's any risk in the immediate future.
Maybe it'll be illegal to have any other theme park that's not Disney. They'll get a monopoly on all theme parks, and they'll force everybody out, and if you try to start one up, the mouse will get you.
I mean, it's basically an oligarchy of theme parks right now because it's Disney, Universal, and Six Flags. Yeah. And then I guess there are a couple of like indie ones, like you got Dollywood.
Mm-hmm, Knott's Berry Farm.
Yeah.
There's a big one in Cedar Point. It's in Ohio. Oh man, are they still around?
I don't recall. There's another one that is somewhere in the Midwest called Kennywood.
Oh, I think I've been there.
Yeah.
I love theme parks. I love roller coasters. So I hope they do not become illegal, or I'm going to have to go to jail. Because I will refuse to stop going. And then we've got SK Photo says single-use plastic.
Okay. I mean, I think that's probably got a good chance of happening, and that's mostly because we've already started moving towards not doing that.
Yeah, I think over time, it's almost kind of like electric vehicles. Like in 30 years or so, the market will have transitioned enough where we can, you know, they're not going to go door to door like, hey, you're still driving a gas car? Go to jail. Hey, how many times do you use that plastic? Just once? Jail.
Straight to jail.
I don't know. What do you think is legal currently that won't be in the future?
There are things I hope won't be legal.
Yeah, I would like to say I hope cigarettes become illegal. I think that's a good one.
Cigarettes. The gun nuts are going to get on me about this.
Well, yes.
I could do without guns. I could do without... one of the things I'm most looking forward to about the transition to all electric vehicles is transitioning away from loud-ass vehicles. Like, I hate muscle cars. I hate, like, loud trucks.
What if the electric vehicle, what if their loud revving engine is just the sound of, like, 90s dial-up internet? And that was, like, their engine. Like, the louder that screeching static sound was, the more impressive it was.
That would be just as annoying to me. I hate both of these things. Although I was talking to a friend of mine who is a car person. She's really into like Jeeps and overlanding and going out and camping on BLM land, which stands for Bureau of Land Management, as well as Black Lives Matter. Please know that I'm referring to Bureau of Land Management. Okay. She does not like the high-pitched but almost imperceptibly soft whine of Teslas. She's just like, I hate the sound that they make. And I'm like, silence? Like, yeah, they have a sound, but it's so minimal. I don't see how it could be triggering to someone who has some low-grade misophonia or something like that. So,
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I've ever heard one.
Yeah, but cigarettes is definitely good, man.
Because they don't. There's no like positive side to it. It's just horrible for your health, and it
smells so bad. It makes everything around you smell so bad.
Everyone just switched to weed.
Yeah, seriously, like someone could be hotboxing.
Smells way better, and it's way more fun, and way less cancer causing.
Yeah, someone could be hotboxing out in their car right now, just blazing, and then come in here, and 30 minutes later, I wouldn't be able to smell it if it was weed. But if they were doing that with cigarettes, I would be able to smell it from across the building.
One of my biggest pet peeves, I used to drive for, rideshare companies. One of my biggest pet peeves is when I was pulling up to pick up the passenger and they were already waiting on the curb, finishing a cigarette. And then they get in my car. I'm like, you still reek of cigarette. Yeah, you didn't bring it in with you, but you basically should have.
You're a walking ashtray.
Yeah, I was just like, come on. I hate it. If I rolled up and they were just like finishing their last drag, I'm like, cool. I'm gonna ride around with the windows open for an hour once you get out of the car.
Yeah.
But if it's weed, like, I don't know. If I'm walking down the street and I smell weed, like, oh, that smells good. Someone's having a fun time.
Yeah, exactly. Any other questions?
No, that was it. Those were the three.
All right. Well, again, thank you for watching, listening, consuming this however you are. Please don't cancel me for saying I don't like guns. They're loud and they're destructive.
Cancel me. I'm coming for all your guns.
They're probably going to be more angry about my hatred of Girl Scout cookies and Boy Scout popcorn than anything I had to say.
Honestly, I feel like anybody who watches this podcast is probably, especially to this far into it, if they're a big old gun nut, I don't think they would have made it here.
No, not at all. They're just like, who are these two dudes? So yeah, thanks for paying attention. Again, we have new releases that are coming out pretty much every week.
Technically Friday, but also Thursday if you hit refresh.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe I should try and gamify this and basically give some kind of special reward for the person
first
who orders.
person to order it before it's technically live.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Maybe I'll just like refund
or
$5.
a little personal thing. Maybe you get a little bonus, almost like a mystery thing. You get some kind of little mystery item that just comes with it unexpectedly.
Yeah.
In the size that you ordered. It's like, what is this shirt?
Maybe we'll just include some extra stickers.
Ooh, nice. Everyone loves stickers.
Maybe some stickers that have been discontinued.
Boy Scouts would probably do so much better if they sold stickers instead of popcorn.
Absolutely. Jesus Christ. Here we are solving problems. Boy Scouts of America, start selling cool sticker packs, and I guarantee you will be on par with the Girl Scouts and their cookies.
Everyone's going to want to slap those on their laptops and all this kind of stuff, and then it's like almost like a collectible. It's kind of like our merit badges for supporting the Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I got this one. Oh, I got this one. It's almost, you got to go outside the Target over here if you want to get that sticker.
Yeah, exactly.
Opposed to popcorn.
Exactly. Popcorn, cookies. Get out of here. Come correct with some stickers. All right. Thanks so much for listening and watching. Josh, thanks for hanging out.
I have to. I'm an employee. He's my boss. He tells me what to do. I have no say in the matter.
Until next time, this has been episode 154 of the Boredwalk Podcast, and happy spring, folks. Bye.
Bye.